Hey everyone, it's Calvin, also known as Wormer, and this is the Ace Attorney Chronicles, and this is my first playthrough of the Ace Attorney Chronicles Adventures. And Patricia, our lovely Patricia, wants to ask us a question, and I'm assuming it's because we've pressed every statement and now we have to move on, okay? That generally seems to be what happens if you don't press the right statements. You just press everything and it works. Yes, of course, what is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I wasn't really, what is she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony less valuable.
Oh no, I didn't say that, girl. No.
You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I believe you. You don't know how much I adore you, Patricia. The Wallace and Gromit music. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuse, I don't want to hear it.
Talking to him. My voice will be heard. I've been hearing your voice this whole time.
My lord, you let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Miss Beat. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that.
What do you mean? She should be allowed to do it anyway. So sure, complaints are warranted if you're like, oh, I guess we'll let her do it. You know, shut her up. Like, shut up. Patricia's the best.
That Japanese man think policeman wife's word counts for nothing, does he?
Sure, why not?
Well, watch out, son. I'll let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't.
Yeah, Rolly will kill me. Then I'll kill Rolly and then we can be together, Patricia. No, I can never do that. You're too nice together. Julie Nolan, Miss Beat, please, I humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though.
So that's what we have to say? I'm taking eyes of crime for you more. Okay, so we have to... I guess this is a new statement? So we press this one?
Hold it!
Miss Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us.
I saw I did. That evening I saw clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back sinking away into the scene.
Ha.
I don't know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
I believe her. All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction?
Oh yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rowley. He gets ever so
Oh, he's thinking of something. Rolly's thinking of something. Constable Beat, is there a problem?
No, sir. No problem, sir.
Did your wife's remarks just now just bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir, yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all.
You mean Miss Beat lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone for a good 15. Oh, Rowley, you're such a tease. But the reason I was gone so long is because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet? The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
I was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rowley's so romantic. He saved up with farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while he was doing his rounds.
Oh my god! Rolly! Rolly's the most adorable person who ever lived. Yes, how romantic.
I've forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling? Oh, yes. But that was just between us. No talking about anyone else, darling. You have to promise. Really? Oh.
What was that all about? Constable Pete looked very obviously troubled during that exchange. I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruto. But I'm quite sure one thing. We have to ask Mr. Beat about the bouquet. Mr. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
Van Dijk's like, this is gonna win the whole trial.
What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report on the front, sir.
Okay. So, yeah, what do you mean? I requested a cross-examination with Garrity without consulting you. Even if the judge did deny me, it's okay, don't worry about it. We have some stuff to press now again. Oh, I see. Well, I'd agree with you. We do need testimony from Mr. Garrity. If we're ever going to get to the truth of this matter, yeah, we do need to talk to her. Do you really think so? I keep hitting the mic. I'm so sorry. It's in a different position today, guys. I'm so sorry. Well, think about it. No matter how far it is across the road or how that window opens, Mr. Garrity's book was found his way to the scene of the crime somehow, didn't it? You're right. And then there was Miss Garrity's reaction to me showing her the knife. The woman's hiding something. I'm sure of it. You're right again. We need to use that cross-examination to uncover more clues. We'll get to the bottom of this one way or another. I swear. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. I'm glad we got to see that as well before we pressed any more statements. So we have... There's a new statement about the bouquet. What happened was I dropped the bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. You dropped the bouquet? Hold it! Okay, so... You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When we ran over and I saw the woman with a knife in the back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rhodey gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting a light, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on?
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That was when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body.
Wait, what? In case you need reminding, Miss Beat, the victim was not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably? Wait, what? I keep hitting the microphone. Hold on a second. Patricia, I keep hitting the mic. I'm so sorry. Patricia, what I'm thinking here, in my humble opinion, is that, and now hear me out now. Hear me out. I think, genuinely, that something is not right about this. And what I'm thinking is, this is my thought process, right? She was on the right side of the road. For some reason, this man, like, moved evidence or something. Maybe she was on the right side of the road and he moved the evidence. Do you think that's the case? That, like... I don't know about this.
Although, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think of how it got there. I really can't.
He moved the crime scene? So in case someone moved from one side of the Briar Road to the opposite. Curious indeed. I think he moved the freaking crime scene, dude. I think for some reason Rowley moved the crime scene.
Isn't it, but the worst of it, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene.
I genuinely think he... Oh my god. I think we're in trouble here. I think something big happened.
The beaver roses Rose Rowley bought me with that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this solitary rose? Oh, and it's wrapped in like... Oh, look at it.
Oh, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Rowley bought for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call her Rose. Tell us, Lord Van Zieks, where did you come by the flower? I'm also, once again, only putting evidence in later in the trial. This is my way of cheating. According to the police report by the report by the police and officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garrity household. In front of the Garrity's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Could I have it back now, please?
No, I think it's good measure. This rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh.
The present for Patricia beat from her husband Raleigh. The shock of seeing the stab victim caused Miss B to drop the rose where she stood. Where she stood! Why would she drop it and then it would move? Why would he move just the rose? Did he mess with the freaking crime scene? Did this dude mess with the freaking crime scene, guys? This dude's messing with the crime scene, huh? Huh? You messed with the crime scene? Huh? You messed with the crime scene, bruh?
But it's a symbol of our love.
Tug on him.
I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back.
Good grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best to forget Miss Beat. I think that's not how evidence works. I think it takes a while to get your stuff back.
I didn't take me off the crime scene for a moment.
Something's really not right here. And I think we're gonna have to use the rose. I didn't take my eyes to the crime scene for a moment. Nothing strange to report on the front, sir. So I'm guessing that we present the rose on something like this. Is there another statement that's more applicable? Yeah, no, it's statement 6 is like the most applicable to this. Say there's nothing too strange to report. I think that something is weird about the rose here. Unless we can press another statement to get more evidence. We can try. We can try. Can we examine it, actually? Oh, it's very beautiful. An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower. Oh, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before. Wow. Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruto? I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least. Gosh, 3? Yes. Plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom. Perhaps you should consider branching out. Learning some that aren't fruit tree based, for example. Yeah, I think I'm gonna present this.
Objection.
I think he's been tampering with the crime scene. You claim, Constable Beat, that there was nothing to report in the 15 minutes or so you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mr. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived at the back at the scene of the crime, with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet had dropped at the victim's side, was no longer anywhere nearby. Shh. Yes, on the opposite side of the bar road where the victim was attacked. Consider the size of the meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described. No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street. Go away for yourself.
Meager?
But if that were the case, why did the Constable Beat not testify to that fact?
I drew a lizard. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honour. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Roddy didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case mysteriously is the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mr. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrity's book. Mr. Garrity's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Miss Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrity's house. There's no logical explanation for those things. Unless somebody deliberately moved them, yeah. Yeah. And I like Rolly a lot. I like Rolly a lot. But I genuinely think that at this point he's hiding something.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think Bob Rowdy's done something wrong. Don't you just know where the Scotty lawyer says, withering on about books and bouquet? Why should we care? It's nitpicky, that's what it is.
Oh, good. Miss Garrity's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Miss Garrity, but deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called tampering, Mr. Naruto. Thank you so much. That's why you're a judicial assistant. But the person responsible for the tampering cannot admit to it, for a very subtle but compelling reason. Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to one particular person. Rowley. Rowley tampering with evidence. Constable, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for the tampering with the crime scene? It's so effed. But like it's who else could have done it? Obviously, it's one person that could have been. Constable Rowley Beat, it was you.
What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense. Why would my Rowley do something like that? There's no straighter than my husband, and no Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense, all lies. What about the Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it.
Oh.
And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Miss Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well...
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate the policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. What do they lack? What do they lack, my friend? You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there's only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime. To hide something.
That's right. He's right.
I love this animation here.
My husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? That doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. That's what you think. Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair. Mr. Naruto, have you managed to solve this mystery? Have we? Oh! So it wasn't on his beat. Or so it was on his beat. It's one of those reasons. Either he wanted to spend a night with her, or he wanted to look really cool in front of her. You've made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need to not point out what your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide. Yeah, where the victim fell, so it could be off his beat or on his beat, one of those. Where the victim fell to the ground. That's what the Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road, where we saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everyone has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What?
Oh my god, this is actually really cool. This is a really cool, like, I know, I really cool, like, moment, I think. I'm beginning to wonder whether the tumultuous trial will end, counsel. I don't think it will ever end. I don't think it's ever gonna end. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing the crime scene actually took place on that evening? Right here. Right about here. On this side of the road. But that's... Yep. Yep. On the opposite side of the road. Yep. The knife fell into her back, we're guessing, right? Is that what we're going to be trying to prove? The knife fell into her back? On the evening in question, Mrs. Garrity's book fell directly down from the open window above. And her bouquet, Miss Speed, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself.
Objection!
I hit the mic again! this mic placement might be a good idea. Perhaps I'm listening to the ample testimony your court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. Did they now, or did they not? I think you need to look in the mirror.
That's why I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of the Briar Road.
That's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things to show in this print, the victim herself and the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of the Briar Road, which would make sense why it's clutching in her hands. He probably put it there. What a weirdo. I love him, though. But the constable overlooked one thing.
What? Did you have a look?
The bouquet, I presume. Let me have the moment, Van Zieks, thank you. Exactly. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zieks said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps had cast no light. Guess it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was the only bouquet that was found in the original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Roldy Beat. Manji's like, you just had to go and figure it out. Of course, my Nipponese friend. It had to take a Japanese lawyer to realize what I was doing. It's over now. My wife is gonna leave me. What's the real response, though? The eyelashes as well.
Well,
very different.
I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Rowley. It isn't true, is it? What the lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed.
Oh, he's so tired. He's delirious. He's telling us everything.
Only it seems it wasn't a dream at all.
Good golly. Very good golly. And Cesada's reading her book over there. Well done, Cesada. Order! What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, Rowley, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offence, isn't it?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town.
I can't say, sir.
What?
I really am ever sorry about all this.
It's okay, we forgive you. I think we should move on.
For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything.
And this began the reputation of the British police for being very bad. I have a possible explanation. Yeah, I think it's to do with his book that he gave us. Like they have to join the beat, or they have to, yeah, if it's on their beat. For why on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. Do we have to examine the book more? I can't think of one reason. How could you possibly know? You're a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman. And yet Lord Van Zieks is the foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defence, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive for the Constable Beat's unthinkable actions? The book.
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land and I've only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that through honorable patrolling, the beat is most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after citizens on this beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. How? On account of this bouquet. It was our anniversary, my lord. Oh yes, it was our very first wedding anniversary. Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife. You know what? I think he should have tampered with evidence. Well done. And was looking forward to taking route for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw the shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of him. He must have gone through the man's mind.
But sir, just on the particular day I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mr. Beast put up a lot with me being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
This is the warrant card the Constable Beat offered to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist in the initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that, or is it not, the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes. Everything you said, it's alright.
So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on the Constable Beat's beat.
Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done? It was the first time since I became a copper that I ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention to do my duty as a police officer. We got to approach to the station as quickly as possible. But then, it dawned on me. I realised where we were where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on this beat, a policeman must assist in the initial investigations to help detectives. Why does this have to happen here?
I feel so bad for him. You know what? I agree. He should have done it.
And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Patchett to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just come out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it, turn right along the mesh street, and then...
So you lied to Patricia as well. I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for this boy. He just wanted a night with his beautiful wife.
Oh, Rolly! I'm sorry. Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Very romantic. Oh, Constable.
I just wanted one night to take my Patricia for dinner.
That's so sad. I love them so much.
Oh, Rolly. You're so nice.
You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction, just across the street, to the east pavement of the Bar Road, which falls under the neighbouring beat's care.
You see, I thought, well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rowley would never have left the poor woman in the freezing cold pavement.
I see your meaning now.
But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? Oh, Rowley. I swore I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
This is the saddest moment in the history of Ace Attorney.
Oh no, Rowley, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rowley.
Calvin, why did you blame Hosonaga for doing it, even though Hosonaga had a reason to do it? But now you're praising him for messing with the crime scene because they're adorable, okay? Because they're adorable people and they deserve to be praised for it, okay? It's not my fault they're adorable. And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total?
4 it was, yes. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsumi, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in Garrity's household, of course. But what made you place the book in the victim's hand?
When all the others
were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Oh, well, so that's because that's how I found it.
How you found it, you mean?
When we first went out to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in my hand.
So you're sure this book was the lion's pride was in the victim's hand was holding?
Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Interesting. So maybe she caught the book. She could have caught the book. Imagine like before you get stabbed, the last thing you hear is,
"Oh, who you sleeping with? What woman you talking to? It wasn't me, woman."
and just like.
I thought I was opening shut case at the time. You see, there were only 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen.
How about this? How about we forget about this? We move on. We put away the Japanese man for the crime, and look, just move on. Okay? I don't need to ruin your life, the two of you. You two are great people. I don't mean to ruin your lives.
I wish when you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off, who done it, I thought. I couldn't see no harm, really. I didn't think moving on the road would make a difference. I suppose it's it for me now. I've had it.
My lord. Yes, Lord Van Zieks. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witness. Constable, you may withdraw.
Yes, sir. Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What will become of our Rowley? What will happen to him?
We're gonna let him go free. I think that's what we think we're gonna do, because, like, honestly, like, there's no point. There's no point. He didn't do anything wrong. For now, you are free to go home. Exactly. The police will contact you in due course. No, they won't.
Please don't punish my husband. This is all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning him for coming home late. Leaving now, pet. Let's go home. I'm tired. Alright then, my love.
One last thing, Constable.
Sir?
Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you.
Yes, sir.
Carve that lesson into your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of the crime.
Never again, sir? You mean for me to say?
Leave now. This trial is not yet over.
Sir!
Awesome. Awesome interaction with these guys. Awesome characters. Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of the crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here, principally. That the accused, Mr. Saseki Natsumi, is the only person who could have possibly have committed this crime. No, we've established that the books and the knife could have fallen out the window now. We've established that. You can't just change facts. Go away.
Objection.
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is something else. A person who could be responsible for the knife the victim's back. Forgive me for presumptions, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already. Lord Van Zieks, is this true? Yeah, he is. Of course he is. Very well. Name the person if you will. and if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objections to the trial continuing. You will name this other person.
Take that!
There we go. The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? The assistant made the request earlier, in order to refine and reveal the truth of this case. It's imperative that we cross-examine the juror member, number 4, Miss Joan Garrity. Me? Oh, dearie me.
Objection!
That request has already been denied. Shut your face. You were a bad lawyer.
Objection!
But the situation is very different now. Miss Garrity, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garrity. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks over Briar Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered, with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open-topped hinge casement, the window book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, and I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garrity. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back? Have you really never laid eyes on it before? Oh, she's lucky that it's disconnected. I would have got her then. Luckily, I keep the wire always connected. I think I uploaded a short saying my Switch broke. It did break. It's working now, by the way. But I'm not playing this on the Switch, even though it kind of feels right to kind of play it on the Switch. Oh. It was on sale on PS4, so I bought it on PS4. I'm playing on the PS5. I don't recall it. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there, in all that regalia, said members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all. Number 4. Oh! Make no mistake, your jurors are not special anyway. You're not immune to judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madame, let the truth come out. But that's just a common garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying? Please, Miss Garrity. That's not a garden knife. Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. Oh, really? I know. I felt sorry for her earlier. I don't feel as sorry for her now. But hey, look, she's still a fun character. So yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on it being my fault. You're going to have to prove that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, chop chop. Do your worst. Well, Mr. Naruto, if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it already. Then take the stand, juror. Oh, he's actually backing us up in this situation, or backing up the law, I suppose, in this situation. The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examination this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm going to have to testify? Juror number 4, as I'm sure you will appreciate having observed with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed, truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware. Oh, dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mr. Garrity, and mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. The music! I love this music! This game is so good. It's very good. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. Whoa, look at this. I'm here in the Old Bailey and I'm a lawyer. Oh man, that's so cool. That's so cool that he's feeling this way. Witness, state your name and occupation. That's such a nice feeling as well. Like, you can see it in him. He's getting more confident, and you can see that, like, it's not just they're telling us, they're showing us as well. Miss, my name is Joan Garrity, and I'm a juror, and such like. It sounds like she doesn't even know she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore. The court decides your testimony is required in order to clarify matter of cash. Do you understand, madam? Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth. Oh, dearie me. Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now. Chin up, Joni. Oh, he's here as well? We didn't call you to... You can stay out if you... We didn't call you to the stand, buddy. I didn't know you were here, John. Oh, look. Wasn't only you in the room that day, oh thing, was it? Well, I think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But what about your deed here? The music here as well with this couple, like, supporting each other is actually crazy. Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm the sort of chap to leave a comrade for face disciplinary action alone. Oh, John. I presume you are Mr. John Garrity? Yes. Oh my God, interaction between the two. Oh, that's so cool. Though he put the on her plate. Yes, sir. Former lieutenant in the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse the other day in question? Ah, well, yes, quite. I believe this may represent a first of a proud history of British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will now recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once. And that is where we're going to end this video. I'll say this. I think that, like, this game went from being a game that I thought was going to be okay just because of how the first 2 chapters are paced to being, like, a really, really fantastic game. I'm actually enjoying myself quite a bit. I hope you guys are enjoying it too, as I am. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.